Welcome back to Ash and Ed. Yes, this is Ash's feed, and there's a chance you're even paying to hear this, but it's still, I have to start them. That's just the way they work. And Ash Williams, how are you?
Mate, I'm well.
Now you're looking fresh. You're in the office.
Bro, I've got my TikTok light. I bought a TikTok light.
Well, now you got to show me your stupid TikTok light.
No. I don't want to show you behind the curtain, man. But
Okay. Yeah, safe to say that curtain would be moving if you were standing behind it. What I will say is that we are not alone, my friend. We are joined today by someone I have spent a lot of time with recently before she's gone into self-isolation, although she's out most days at cheese shops if you're looking for her. It is my dance partner, Jorja Freeman. Hello.
Thank you. I enjoy being introduced by my proper name. Thank you very much.
Yeah, normally it's Kim Jong Georgia, the North Korean drill sergeant, which is a moniker that you've accepted gratefully, is it not?
Yeah, well, I've been forced to, I think. I had no option.
That's true.
It's a very beautiful name. Sorry, Ed. It's such a beautiful name.
Which one?
Jorja Freeman.
It is.
I would, if I was emailing a Jorja Freeman, I would give her my credit card details without meeting her.
Well, there you go. I do have Ed's credit card details. Thank you very much.
I'll be needing that after this, Georgia.
No worries.
She does actually have that. Now, you two haven't met before. You're two of my favorite people to talk to, so I'm very excited for you two to meet over this format.
The pleasure's all mine. I mean, I've watched you two steam up the screens.
Hang on. Well, don't you mean burn up the dance floor? Steam up the screens is a very
steam up the screens. Different show.
It's something I went to in Amsterdam many moons ago.
Have you both been to Amsterdam, Georgie? Have you danced in Amsterdam?
Yeah.
Have you?
I have. I danced in Amsterdam when I was 19, and what a memory it was.
Did you go to any of the venues?
I did, and I will never forget it. It was a near-death experience.
Ooh.
To say the least. That's
sexy.
A story for another day.
Was that, well, no, absolutely. So it was a dancing venue or it was a sexual venue?
No, I didn't go to any sexual venues. I went to a dancing venue and I sat at the front of a sexual venue clapping everyone.
Oh,
no,
that's not.
She's been taken off the firewall on Zoom. She got too filthy.
Georgia, I told you to sit where the internet was good.
Where's the internet, Georgia?
What are you doing, Georgia?
I think it's you guys because I'm going great.
You know, welcome to my world. Welcome to my world, Ash, where it's never Georgia's fault or responsibility.
I know, this is like old school dial-up with Georgia.
No, there we go. I'm better now. I was on the wrong one.
You're on the next door neighbor's Wi-Fi.
So what we're doing today is people have been asking, but we haven't done any. This is a special thing called an Ash Asks Anything, where Ash Williams does a deep dive behind the curtain of Dancing with the Stars, and nothing's off limits. And Ash Williams, you've tried to. We haven't barely spoken during this process because all I do is dance with George, and if I look at my phone, she yells at me. So you and I have barely spoken about it.
It's true.
Correct.
We were doing ISO before it was cool.
You started this whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you should ask him what he used to do in tanning beds.
Yeah.
What did you used to do on tanning beds? I'm curious now.
Well, it was just a self-quarantine, if you will. And it's what a lot of guys who are single would be doing right now as we speak. I used to tan and relax at the same time. Does that help you at all, George?
I mean, I've got a lot of questions. I don't know which path it's going down, but anyways.
No, it's all good. The less anyone knows, the better. But
obviously.
But I like it, Ed. The Ask Ash Anything. It's like the AAA.
Ash asks.
Oh, sorry. Well, you know what, Ed? You know what? I got sidetracked, bro. I was too excited to say the AAA access that you get at the music events.
Yeah, good. That's good, mate. Well done.
I've got one of those lanyards, so I'll wear that next time.
Yeah,
so let's start asking Ed any more
No. First things first,
precursors.
George, anything you'd like to ask Ash before we get started? You've never met him before.
There's a lot. There's a lot.
just
I've
go with
heard
your
you're a
top
really loose unit. I hear Ed has said that you are the exact opposite to him, and Ed is probably the most uptight person I've ever met. So I'm guessing you're the opposite.
It's pretty well said, actually. I am pretty loose. I'm broadcasting.
You are pretty loose.
Well, I'm broadcasting now in an office that I'm not supposed to be in, and my office is next door. If Ed was doing that, he'd have a heart attack. He'd literally have a heart attack.
He'd have a panic attack. He'd have a panic attack. Honestly, he'd have a panic. Look where he's sitting right now. It's like the same position every single thing he does. He can't mix it up. He can't mix the angles up.
It's good though. Sometimes Ed can be a good counterbalance for me because he might say, "But hang on, what if this happens?" And I'll be like, "Yeah, it's a good point." And then I'll meet somewhere in the middle, with the logic. So
good, needed.
Yeah.
It's like an older uncle.
Oh,
Not nice.
Hey, my uncle's great. Uncle Murray, shout out to him.
yeah. Big shout out to Uncle Murray.
I
Big
can't
shout out.
I can't talk about my uncles.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
No.
No dramas.
Yeah.
Dramas.
Completely kind of get what you mean.
Okay.
This is going into a direction I didn't think it would go
George,
into.
I told
Thought
you
it was
he
just
would do
another.
that.
Thought it was just another interview, like hanging shit on Ed about Dance with the Stars.
No, it's actually would be a great title for a new podcast. I can't talk about my uncle, and you just get
Yeah.
people on.
That's actually a good idea.
You just get people on talking about their uncles.
Oh, what stories?
Well, give us one.
Oh, look, I'd have to think back. Look, let me outline my uncle for you. He's nearly 50, still lives with my nana. Actually, no, booted my nana out of her house. She's now in a granny flat out the back. He's a garbo, and we bought him a dog a couple of years ago because he needed to pull up.
Pull up what?
Like he needed to really rein his life in.
Whoa. Ash, are you seeing any of this in your future?
Well, he doesn't sound too bad, to be honest. It sounds like he's got a loving family. He has a job.
Which is a bonus these days.
Well, absolutely.
Can we talk about that, George? What's happened to the dance world since this, the corona? It's been terrible for the dance world.
It really, really has. It has. I'm seeing things because all I do now, I'm I think it's forced me into retirement.
Yeah.
All you see on Facebook these days are pictures of what the world was whenever all of us used to have jobs. And now everyone just gives out free online dance classes. And then I got a message the other day saying, can you please stop doing, not that I'm doing them, it must just be a generic message. And it's can you please stop doing free dance classes because our industry is in turmoil, and if you give free dance classes, no one's going to want to pay for ours. I've never heard of this woman in my life.
God.
Well,
Was that Nikki Webster? It wasn't Nikki Webster.
Oh, it might have been. She actually, I've been to her dance studio. She actually has a dance studio in Sydney, doesn't she?
I've been there too.
You've been there?
Absolutely.
Do you know that? Can I tell you something about Ash? Ash is the only other person I've ever danced professionally with.
Oh, were you in the single ladies clip?
Oh, right. Of course, Ed. Yes.
Me, Husey, Ash, and some little gentlemen at Jason Coleman's Ministry of Dance, George, where we trained.
Yeah.
That's where the video was. And
I know, I've heard about this.
We saw Jason Coleman when we were there, Ash.
Yeah.
And I asked him about it, and he was like, oh, man, I think that's on an old hard drive. He said, I'll go and have a look. And he never came back.
We need to get that.
I think he didn't remember what you were talking about. I got the gist of it was an awkward conversation, and he had no idea what you were talking about.
Jorja Freeman, how dare you insinuate that any conversation I've ever been in has been awkward? It's never taken place.
It wasn't awkward.
Ash, have I ever had an awkward conversation as you know?
Look, it's just scales of awkward. If it's scaled, if it's a 1 out of 10 awkward, you're like, that was good.
I've been there when there's been an awkward conversation.
Of course, George, you would have been in there when it's peaking at 10.
I used to have to say to him, do not be rude. If we had a new person coming into the studio, I said, a new person's coming in today. Please be nice. because it would make me so awkward if you didn't like the
I
person.
love that. You should be around Ed all the time.
Mate,
Well, I was.
she was.
Yeah, but now I'm talking full time. Forget
Just-
Well,
about
we're in isolation, so it's a bit hard.
I was like a house cat, mate. You should have seen me just doing what I was told. I did nothing but what I was told for 2 months.
But
It's
you need
unbelievable.
that. She was your sensei, so to
Yeah.
speak.
Yeah.
And,
All right. Yeah, keep it going.
and Georgia, I mean, I want to ask you, how bad a dancer was Ed, really?
Look, when we first started, so like I went through a bit of a phase with him, right? So when we first started, firstly, I acknowledged how tall he was. I've never danced with someone so tall. And I taught him 3 steps, and it's possibly like I taught Husey those steps in like a minute. We timed myself.
Right.
And he took him 2 days to learn 3 steps. And then we went to the promo, and he somehow picked up that choreography very quick. So I was like, oh, okay, now like there's some natural maybe talent there of like he can pick stuff up quick. And then the competition started, and look, he got very, very good where he started. I've got footage of our first week, and it looked, have you ever seen like a munted dancer?
Yeah,
Ash-
like big time munted. Yeah, like Revolver or something.
Have you?
Yeah.
Do you-
Like he was like very, like we were doing a very boring dance, and I must give it, he had it hard the first 2 weeks. Like it was very hard, and how far he came was massive. But when we started, I've got to send some videos because I've got it all on tape.
I want to see one. I
Please
want to see how
do.
bad I was. You know, Georgia started doing something that all dancers do. Now, Ash, it's time for you to come clean.
Oh,
It's time for you
please.
to come clean.
I'd love to.
You almost married a dancer.
Oh, I did. And Ed, do you want me to come even cleaner?
Let's
She
get
still
clean.
wants me to marry her.
Well, you're a great guy.
Who was she? What's her name?
Nikki Webster.
Pretty
Was it
close.
actually Nikki Webster?
No. Dumped her. No.
Fair enough.
No, it was. You probably don't know her. She's
No,
an
I don't
old
know.
school commercial dancer. When I say old school, she's only 35 now, but this was about 15 years ago.
Oh, and why did you break up?
Well, look, it just didn't work out. And a big thing for me was back in the day, she didn't know who the Prime Minister was. It's not a big thing, but it was big for me at the time. And I just thought, you know what?
Why would you
God.
want to know who the Prime Minister was, though?
It's just good to have in the back of your mind.
I mean,
There was more than that. It wasn't just like me being obsessed with Prime
I was going to
Ministers.
say.
No. But
See
I
what
just
she does, Ash? You see what she does?
now I'm
She
I
gets
feel
in and under. She gets
mate,
in and under.
that's it.
She's
You know what?
unbelievable. She's
I
unbelievable.
let slip out of my grasp, all because of Kevin Rudd.
Not even a good one. Not even a good
no.
Prime Minister either.
No,
God, what a
but
shame.
but look, you need to release those videos, Georgia, because I think
put one
that could
out.
be
Yeah, I will.
put one out because I'd
Do
see
you want me
why,
to find one?
please. I see why you two did so well in the competition because if you started poorly, you had the journey,
Yeah.
and that's
And
what it's all
did you
about.
just do this? Did you just do this?
No, I didn't do what do you call it, quotation marks. I just I did the horizon straight arm, almost like a Hitler salute, but to the side.
Right,
As if
right.
he's leaving.
I reckon, Ash, you could be on this show next year because it was.
Wait a second.
There you go. Maybe that's like the.
George, you,
Yeah.
seriously, he would be amazing.
Are you a natural talent?
He's a really good tennis player and he
Move.
can actually learn, he can move well with his feet and he's very coordinated. He's a natural athlete.
Really?
I actually think he would be very good.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's
And-
pretty
oh,
much
actually-
best friends with your EP. So
Well,
You're in.
look.
I
Tell
am.
them I've just applied for job keeper and I'm available.
George,
oh god, I'm trying
do
to
me a
find
favor.
one.
Stop scrolling. You can do it later.
Oh, I thought you wanted me to show it now down the barrel.
Oh my
No,
God,
you
you
can
two
do
are
it
like
later.
a married couple.
It's ridiculous. Well, look what I put up with. Look now, getting back to you, Ash Williams.
Well, I just want to ask something to Georgia.
We haven't asked me many questions.
No, we're about to. It does take Ed a while to warm up with people.
Yes, it
How
does.
did you get into the deep end so quick? Because it seems like you two hit it off, or am I wrong? Did it take some time?
No, we pretty much hit it off straight away. But I honestly, people are even gobsmacked as to how you moved to connect so quickly, because I honestly think people were surprised. But I do know that he is often hard to trust people. We went through that a little bit, and then there was an intervention held during week 2 where we had like a really big argument.
Oh, nice.
After Ed almost got eliminated, we had a really big argument. Like we went into rehearse and there was like 3 hours. We didn't dance a step. We just argued the whole time.
Wow.
And I said, you've got to let people in, because otherwise, he was pretty much giving up, and I wasn't having a bar of it in a nutshell.
Look, that is all true.
Yeah.
But
is there video of this, by the way?
No, we didn't video us fighting, because that happened a fair bit. But there was, you're right, Ash and Georgia, it does take me a little while to warm up, but you both know what I'm like. Once I've made that decision, I'm good.
Yeah.
Once I make the choice, it's the opposite. Then you can't get rid of me.
Oh, mate, you're loyal as.
Once I've decided you're in, then no one's going anywhere.
It's like it's like school, when you constantly want to try and get into like the cool group. Well, there were people trying to like poke into Ed's, like try and see if they can relate to him. And sometimes he just wasn't giving them like a bar of them. He wouldn't have a bar of them at all. There was a couple of professional dancers that got the male professional dancers that you could tell he just was not going to connect with.
Oh, yeah? Who were they?
I had seen the way that they were treating their celebrity.
Yeah, fair enough.
And I didn't like the way that they were treating their celebrity. And that's why I said to you, I'm not going to pretend that I'm down with them, because I don't like the way that they're treating the celebrity. I thought they were being, I didn't like it. And so I just wanted to, move away. And
knowing Ed, Ash, like, he doesn't hide that fact.
No, he's got, that's why when I was speaking to you during the weekend, it's like, you've got you're like an old computer and there's only one mode. So if you're angry, you'll show that. You'd be terrible at poker. Terrible.
Yeah.
I'm such a bad actor, because I can't hide it. I can't do it. It's either...
Yeah, but unless you're feeling it in the moment, Ed.
Well, do you know what? Our best dance was our waltz, was our Viennese waltz, which was our second last one. And it's like, I don't know why you didn't say it to me week 2, but what was the thing you said that unlocked it?
I love how his incompetence has come back to why I didn't say something.
Yeah.
I said to him, stop trying to be something and someone you're not. Just be you and act like it's me.
See?
Nice.
Just be Ed dancing with Georgia. And it completely unlocked. I was like, I can do that.
It was pretty romantic.
It wasn't though, because it was meant to be. And it was like, well, if it's just you, then it's just you.
I get it.
That's what you said. Did you?
You said that.
Well, I did say that a couple of times. Yeah, it can't be Mary Manny. It's just Georgia. What am I going to,
It's just, It's just a boy standing in front of a girl standing in front of a boy asking him to love her.
Which movie is that, Georgia?
I don't know. I know it, but I don't know the title. What's it
about?
No.
Man standing in front of a girl.
Name a star in that film.
Tom Cruise?
No, he doesn't ask. A girl standing in front of a man asking him to love her.
Well, I have no idea. Is it Matthew McConaughey and Kate Hudson?
What movie?
Not a bad guess. That's How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
10 Days.
It's a shocking film.
It's my favourite for such a long time.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Not bad. What's wrong with you two? What is your favourite movie at the moment, Ash? The answer is Notting Hill, by the way.
Yeah, yes, of course.
Yeah.
Favourite movie at the moment?
Favourite movie says a lot about someone.
Like at the moment.
Or in general.
In general.
Give me some top 5.
Georgia, take it from here while I just.
George, what are some of yours? I've never asked you this. What are some of your favorite movies? Oh, I know you like. Hang on.
Time to Kill.
Yeah, Time to Kill. Time to Kill. Samuel L. Jackson.
No, that's not. Oh, yeah. And Matthew McConaughey.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
always Matthew, yeah. Yeah.
Sandra Bullock.
One of those.
Midnight.
No, Sandra Bullock's not in that. Yeah, mid-90s. Oh, is Sandra Bullock in it? No. Oh, yeah, she is.
Yeah,
She is. Well done.
Thank you so much. It's a revenge thriller. It's a very good film.
Yeah.
Okay.
Time to Kill's a good one.
God, that's so you. Jesus Christ, it's all about vengeance. That is so you.
I like The Avengers.
Yep. Like the first one?
I just watch them randomly, but all of them.
Yeah, they're all the same. I'm with you.
I don't really know. I haven't
Favorite
thought about
dance
it.
movie?
No, I don't like dance. Don't really like dance movies. I know you like Step Up though.
Step Up to the Streets, Georgia. The
Step Up
sequel.
to the
Do
street.
you want some step up scoop?
Yep.
Yeah, go on.
Guess who's a little bit in my grill on social media from Step Up?
Who?
Georgia might know.
The ex-wife of Channing Tatum.
No, I assume this girl was in Step Up. She's Australian.
What's her name?
No. Shani Vincent.
Yes. Boom, boom.
Who's that?
She was on Home and Away, and then she was in Step Up.
Yeah, so what
I
happened
didn't
is
know that.
I did a cross on Studio 10, and then
Big,
within 5
big,
minutes, it
big,
was big, mate. People
big.
are saying it wasn't big, but it was big.
Did you catch it, George?
No.
It was
Sorry.
my debut comeback. I haven't been on for 5 years, and within 5 minutes, I got an Instagram ad and a Facebook ad. The double ender from Shani Vincent. Thank you very much.
Double ender from Shani Vincent.
And you know,
I mean, I
Studio
don't
10.
know who this is, so I don't.
She's
can't
in
help
Step
her.
Up. She's the one who dances and does a lot of shoulder moves.
But you know, there's more than one shoulder moves.
Here she
Yeah.
goes.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
nice.
George.
Golly gosh, Georgia.
George, how
I'm
many
gonna get
shoulders?
kicked off Zoom for that.
How many shoulders are you currently exposing, George?
One, and I thought of that this morning. Actually, I was like, oh, I've got my one shoulder
Yep.
piece on.
Here are some rules about dancers, Ash, that I've learnt and being
Please.
in their world. Dancers always, A, sit on the floor.
Yes.
B, they're always mildly stretching while you speak to them.
Yes.
They can't go a day without exposing. There she is, mildly stretching.
I could look a bit weirder, but anyway.
I feel like I'm in Amsterdam. That's good.
Ash, your poker face is the worst I've ever
That was too much. Look, mate, I've had a few Maconas. It was too much.
There's another one too. There's another.
Always expose at least one shoulder at any part of the day. They're always exposing at least one shoulder,
Yep.
and they always wear leopard print.
Wow.
I never wear leopard print.
Do you have any?
No, nor should anyone.
Oh,
What am I like, Carol Baskin?
It's topical.
Yeah, it's big at the moment.
Topical. She's topical there. Well done.
I love that.
I thought of dancers when I watched that thing. I think this is why dancers should never wear leopard print. It's disgusting.
Well, Lily and Megan wear it. They get away with it, and Violetta.
Well, Ed, remember what we always used to say? That, oh, sorry, did I miss something there?
No, it's just a telling.
I know there was something there for people to like.
It's like Morse code. If you know
enjoy
how
that.
what the noises mean. Yes.
Well, we always said that dancers have a sunny disposition, and they do.
They do.
What does that mean?
They're happy.
Oh,
Like their core is happiness.
Yes, you're
that's
right.
nice.
It's true.
Why? How have you come to that conclusion?
Well, because I dated one for 3 years, and she was always happy. And
And then you broke up with her.
But we're still good mates.
Send her
Still.
a text.
Yeah,
She
send
got a
her
new
a text.
boyfriend, Ed.
What?
She got a new boyfriend, mate.
Okay.
But it's not serious, I got to tell you.
Okay.
She said some stuff. Anyway,
Can I ask one question, actually? Ed was telling me a story a couple of weeks ago about a guy, who, like a friend of his, and something about a Thailand guy. And he's like, oh, the Thailand guy's not here. Or so. Was that you?
yeah, it's me.
Ah, there you go.
Beautiful.
That's my fake girlfriend. That's my new fake girlfriend.
Yeah.
Not my old one. That's over.
Circumstantial.
What? Have we got a new fake girlfriend?
I told you I got a new fake girlfriend.
Oh, this is the same one. Purple shorts, yeah?
Yeah, purple shorts, bro.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, she's going well at the moment, actually.
Is she?
Yeah. Going out drinking tomorrow night. Should be good.
No, you're not. You're not.
Where?
going
At
out
your place?
drinking. Yeah, you're not going out drinking.
Oh, no.
Expensive.
At the house. I mean, that's what I mean. Going out. It's going out
Going
these
out.
days. Yeah. I put on
Going
some
out onto the
tunes.
balcony.
Yeah. Now, getting back to the dancing questions, we briefly touched on other dances. Georgia, do you think like some dancers are harder to dance with than others?
Like partners.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I hate dancing with my husband.
Whoa.
I hate it.
He is a dancer, we should say.
He's a dancer. Sorry, the dance on the show.
Oh, he's on the show.
Yeah.
Right. He's not just like.
So he's and we met dancing. We danced together at one stage for 6 months, and we split up during that time.
Whoa.
Ooh. So the couple that dances together doesn't stay together?
Not always. A lot of people do, but
Georgia,
yeah.
You know a very romantic story about a couple on a cruise ship. Would you be able to take the names out and tell us that one? Because it's the type of story that Ash would love.
Okay.
This is a
I actually just spoke to them the other day.
Let's not
Right.
use names.
So I won't use names, but I work for a dance company that's got a lot of dancers from all over the place. And anyway, so they joined the company on a cruise ship as a couple, and they also danced together. And they danced together for years, and they'd been boyfriend and girlfriend for like 6 years. So it was a long relationship. They got on the cruise ship and they were dancing, whatever. And my friend asked, can my boyfriend like stay in your spare room for a little bit when I'm away? And then the guy was like, yeah, no problems, but I will have to have it once a month. Like one night a month. And then she was like, what? And then he's like, oh, I'll talk to you about it later. Spoke about it later. They're like, yeah, well, I nearly said the name.
Yeah, don't say
Sorry, we can beep it.
Don't say the name,
We can take it out.
My girlfriend allows me one night a month to do what my sexual desires are wanting me to do, and she allows me one night a month to go into my spare room and do that.
with
a man.
Yeah.
And anyway, so this was like accepted, and she's like, I love her, but she knows I require different things. Then like 12 months later, he left her for a guy on the contract, and then she had to keep dancing with him, and whilst he was now dating a man. Yeah, how horrible is that?
Far out, mate. I mean, what a professional the woman is.
She is, that's for sure. And now he's just like an absolute rager. He's always, you would never guess he's straight. It was ever straight.
Well, I don't think there's a chance he wasn't.
Totally.
I think that's what a lot of us are taking from this story.
Yeah.
That's your type of story, isn't it?
Oh, it's awesome. And I mean, if he's doing it one night a month, I think he might have been doing it more. Because once you have a taste.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
I mean, it's pretty.
Let's say you do it on the 2nd. By the 5th, you're like, ugh, how long have I got to wait to get this going?
Oh, man, if it's a 31-day month, forget about it. You know? Not waiting 31.
But if it's February.
Oh, Feb. You do the right thing in Feb. You're a good guy. But well, that's a beautiful story.
Later in the year.
Beautiful story. Well done.
Now, I do want to talk. You two were on the show. I thought you were going to win it, by the way. I really did. And
did you vote for us? Can I just ask one? Because I usually ask this of everyone now. Did you vote for us?
I voted once, to be fair. Yeah, I was with my brother as a witness. So
you did 25 cents each, did you?
No, he didn't vote. My brother's. If he'd vote, he's a nut. But how would you two improve? Well, this is to Georgia. How would you improve Dancing with the Stars, the show?
We've got to give context here because George, we do a bit when we do pods together where we do improvements for reality shows.
True.
So much so that The Bachelor stole 2 of our ideas last year.
Well, see, I've got to be careful here because unlike you, who's done with the show, I would like to be re-employed.
Smart.
Yeah, that's smart.
Smart. She's a professional, just like the other lady in the story.
So, yes. So, Ed, you can take this for him and you can take away.
Here's my first one. Right? Everyone, you split the celebrities into 2 halves and there's only 2 different dancers. Everyone learns the same 2 dances for 1 week.
Yes, that's better. I'm already into
We
it.
can actually see how much better people are than others.
You know where the moves are.
What do you say to that, George?
Well, we would have been out week 1.
All right. Thank you so much. All right. What then?
That's so much better.
Okay, how about this? How about this? You've got to do a masked dance week. You've
You
got
know
to
what, man?
dance in big furry costumes so the judges don't know who they're judging.
Stop trying to take Hughes' show. Stop trying to take Hughes' show.
Don't you think, George? We dance in big furry costumes and they don't know who's who for a week.
Better. Yeah, 1 week. 1 week.
No.
Why?
There's too much to because you couldn't deal with a hat. You'd freak out all dancing in big costumes that you can't control. Like Ed couldn't dance in a hat. He refused to dance in a hat, let alone a
that's all
massive
part of it.
costume.
You've got to be told this at the start of the show, and if Ed's not up for that, then he's not up for it. But I reckon it's 1 week.
I don't think it would win. Yeah.
Just 1 week, so it would throw away any judge bias. I think it'd be fun.
A lot of bias.
Yep.
Yep.
And I've actually just come up with one. Sorry, Ed. I reckon they might use this with the status quo we're in with Zoom and everyone quarantining. Next season, you get so you send out one of the dancers a week ahead of time. You let everyone do their dance in the lounge room, so people are invested in one of the dancers.
It's a great idea.
And then there's a whatever, the viewer wins something for the best dance.
The best viewer. So the routine gets put out, George. Like, let's say that you choreograph.
Yeah.
This routine. What do you think, George?
Yeah, and they're like a wild card. They should be a wild card into the competition.
That's a hot story.
This is like my
George,
mate who
genius.
Remember Ed, my mate who paid $100,000 to go in the Celebrity Grand Prix because he wanted to be in the race.
Yes.
This doesn't cost you any money. You just need to be doing well at home. One lucky home viewer will be on the show.
That's a sick idea, George.
Boom.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I'll take that.
No, you can take
I'll
that.
take that back to the powers that be.
That's yours. That's your idea.
Here's the next one. One more.
Yeah.
Ready? This is serious. You got to mix up the judging. It's too much dance judging. We can't, George, I know you disagree, but we need someone, Ash, needs to just be vibe.
You told all of them this. You've already told people this when you felt like you were being judged unfairly.
Yeah. Don't you reckon, Ash? Let's go. And look, here's, I don't know, Tracy Grimshaw, who's going to be doing
vibe.
Social relevance. Vibe. Tracy's judging vibe.
Jackets. She likes to wear jackets.
Tracy's doing jackets and vibe this week. George?
I agree to an extent. I don't agree with that specific example, but I do agree. I reckon, get some characters on there.
Get some characters on there. You mean you mean like Dame Edna and Colin Carpenter?
Well,
Colin
Dame
Carpenter
Edna might be a bit old school.
I love Colin Carpenter. I spent a good hour trying to find a Colin Carpenter clip on YouTube during the week. Could not find it.
It's all dead. It's all been taken down.
It's all gone.
Finding that. See, there you go, George. See, you got to be part of the solution, George. Part of the solution.
Yeah, I've got plenty of ideas, but I think it's a little bit above my pay grade.
It's also a smart comment. You know
what though? But she always says that. I hate when she says that.
She's a politician, man.
I know she is, but she's
gonna never, ever say that I'm a politician.
I know a lot of my friends are politicians. I say that in an endearing way.
The Prime Minister comment and the politician comments.
I didn't say Prime Minister, did I?
No. But that's why you broke up with your dancer girlfriend.
Oh, true.
Sorry. I forgot to tell you this.
It's good.
There's something else that you two have in common in that you've got incredible memories that are very specific.
Ooh.
So Georgia can recall any of the mildest negative comment or an offhanded joke that I make from months ago. And word for word, where we were, it's to be used against me at a later date. You give her 3,000 compliments in a row, couldn't care less. But if I whisper something at the end of a hallway when I don't think she's around, she brings it up 2 days later. It's an incredible skill.
Do you do that too, Ash?
No,
not like that.
No, he's just got an incredible memory, but for very specific things.
That's good.
Some of your areas are.
What someone was wearing at a meeting 20 years ago.
It must have been memorable.
Yeah, I spoke to a mate on the phone during the week, and I don't want to get too graphic, but about 10 years ago, Georgia, I shat my pants. And
Where?
my mate, well, this is in LA, Ed, and my mate was there, and I said, do you remember that night? Geez, it was a big night. And you're wearing that 11/11 T-shirt. You're obsessed with the time 11/11 so much you wore a T-shirt. And he goes, oh, yeah, I lost that T-shirt. But anyway.
And then did he say, I remember you shit your pants?
Oh, yeah. We're still trying to figure that night out. Anyway. Now.
Did you go home straight away?
No, I shit this at that time. I shit my pants at the home, but remember, Ed, there was so much shit that it looked like a 2-man job. So we were always trying to find out who else was involved, and I never did get to the bottom of it. Pardon the pun, but
there you go. Ed almost shit his pants in rehearsal one day.
Here we go. Please, Ed, this is going to be on Daily Mail. What happened, Georgia?
Happy she is.
Sorry.
Oh, what a shame.
No, I'm saying it. What was it? That we did Ed was good at lifts. He was good at lifts.
Yes.
He could lift me above his head. He was great. So he was doing this one lift. It was really, really hard, and he had to press me over his head. Anyways, he did the press great. And then when I was coming down, it was just after lunch, and you just heard a little bit of a.
Oh, wow.
And he tried to ignore it. And I just looked at him. I said, did you just fart?
Yeah.
And he wanted to say no. But there was no backing out of it. And he said, yes.
Oh,
and
good.
His eyes just dropped. It was so funny. And then he said to me, well, now you have to do one.
Yeah.
Good.
To even the score.
Yeah, an eye for an eye.
And then he went to the toilet.
That's cool.
To cry.
I'm glad that Ed, you admitted the fart, because I think once upon a time you would have said, nah, it wasn't me.
Well, that tells you that, that tells you that I'm comfortable with someone if I'll say yes.
You bet you were mortified.
I was mortified.
You were mortified.
I was mortified. You've never laughed so hard. You were on the
No.
floor. You couldn't get up. You were laughing so much.
Because it was funny. When someone can own it and be like, yeah, I just did that. And proud of it, but he wasn't proud. He's one of those ones that aren't proud of it, and that makes it even funnier.
That would have been hilarious. That would have been so good. Now, guys, I want to ask this to Georgia. Now, did any couples hook up this season? Because usually they do.
No. Do you know something that I don't know?
But why? Well, if they didn't, I want to know why they didn't.
Well, I don't think there was any matches. There was no matches that way. Like last year, there was Jet Kenny with Lily, Christian Wilkins. That was fascinating to watch.
Ooh.
And
what week did that start?
I'm pretty sure it was pretty early on. He was fascinated with her. And he was. Did you hear that?
It does sound like a tiger.
Did you fart?
No, that's my brother's just commencing his PlayStation session.
Oh, right.
These boys are serious about their PlayStation.
Yeah. But there really wasn't this year. I don't think I think everyone had families, and I think the only singles out there were the professional dancers in regards to Bo Ryan's partner. She's single.
Megan.
Yeah, Megan.
Quite a good dancer.
So was there any, because she's single, was there any fluidity or moral questionability between Bo and Megan?
No, he's through that. He did invite me and Travis to his wedding with Megan in Perth next April, but he said it in front of his wife as a joke. So I believe so I believe Bo's through that. But yeah, you're right. And I think one of the dancers was trying to hook up with one of the judges, but that's
good-looking Scottish Irish dude.
Tristan. No, she's got a thing for Tristan, but she hides it somewhat well.
Me?
Yeah.
Me? I love Tristan. I think he's
lovely, yeah.
I think he's a great guy.
Wow.
But I've known Tristan for a very long time. I first met Tristan on my first ever dance job. And yeah.
That is the worst story. I thought you were going to. What,
No, because sometimes I have to think.
That was the worst
That was-
story. Ash, that was terrible.
Yeah, it did taper off pretty quickly.
No,
Yeah.
it's an off-air story. I can't
Off-air?
say it here.
Oh my God, that
now
sounds-
it's a really good story.
Sounds
now
so
it's
juicy.
a wonderful story.
It's got nothing to do with me.
Well, he's
You
I
sound
remember.
disappointed. You sound genuinely disappointed.
Oh, so one of your friends maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, Ed, remember I used to date a girl, and her friend was going out with Tristan, and her friend was beautiful, Tahina.
Yep.
And they just started dating, and I was like, "Who is this Tristan dude?"
Tahina is his wife.
Yeah, this is ages ago in LA.
Ah.
And then
Oh yeah.
I saw a photo of him, and I was like, "Yeah, cool." And then I met him. You know, everyone's always going on about what a nice guy he is, and I met him a couple of years ago, and he was lovely, really lovely guy.
He's hypnotic. He's hypnotic.
Yes,
He is.
absolutely.
Ed was fascinated with him. Ed was fascinated with him.
Do you think the other judge is it Shayna Blaze?
Shana.
Is she going to be the next Bachelorette? Is that confirmed?
No way.
What?
Nope.
No.
Okay, well, there's a scoop.
Yeah, big scoop, right?
That's a massive scoop.
Nope.
Jesus, I thought that was a fait accompli.
I mean, I just read that somewhere that she's not, but
Well,
you got to remember that George reads the confidential and then tells you it like she's just been told it by the person who actually knows. She's right. You dig a bit. Where'd you find that, George?
Yeah. Nui Takoa. Now, how injured were the dancers? Like, is everyone pretty banged up by the end of it, or at the start, or what?
I think potentially, Ed, you were the most banged up by the end by the sounds of it, but the physio was there at least once a week, twice a week.
Hang on. The physio, what did the physio tell you that you had?
Oh, and do you know what? Actually, I got this comment again today by my sister. I had a session one week because I hurt my glutes, and I just it was just a bit of a knot. Anyway, so the physio was there, so I just took a session, and the physio said to me that I had the tightest glutes she has ever felt, and she works at a professional dance studio in Melbourne, weekly. And she said I had the tightest glutes. And then my sister again, tried to be a smart ass today and hit me with something. And she goes, "Wow, you've got the most boniest, tightest bum ever." And I was like,
Wow.
I know I do.
It's quite the record.
Yeah. As opposed to what
Jeez.
I can't say what my husband calls it, but yeah.
You can.
You can. Yeah, I reckon you can too.
Well, Ed knows, he said, he described to me the other day, because he said when on Dance with the Stars we don't really eat, so we lose a lot of weight, and he said you are a wall with a hole.
A wall with a hole.
I used to work at one of those places, but that's fantastic.
That's also called a glory hole, which is a beautiful place.
Or he also calls me a surfboard. He says, "Babes, I want to go to the beach. Can I take you?"
Jeez. Well, if you're going to go to the beach, you dig a hole, put sunscreen in it, lie face down. Everyone knows that. Yeah?
That's fantastic too. I mean, they're all options. And just quickly, what is so is your sister a dancer too, Georgia?
She is. She's not.
God.
She's not. She's not very good.
Yeah.
But she's good. She can probably hear me right now. But she's very, very smart. She's on to her 3rd degree.
Ooh, yep.
Okay.
But she never really took dancing as what she wanted to do. It was always just a way to stay fit and stuff. She was good, but that was the one thing I was better at than her. So we'll cling on to it.
There you go.
That's pretty good. And just to be fair to your sister, what's she better than you at?
Everything under my parents' eyes, everything.
Oh, we're in some territory here.
Still, dancing's the best. I mean, you want to be a good dancer. And is she single?
She is single, and do what she said yesterday, because she's like, we're all living together at the moment because I'm don't have a job anymore and I'm a poor person. So we all live together at the moment, and she said like the bickering started at home, the bickering after dinner, the dishwasher doesn't work, all that sort of stuff. So the bickering started, and she goes, it's times like these where I wish I had a boyfriend, I wasn't alone, so I didn't have to listen to all of you.
That's
Times
cool.
Like this, I wish I had a boyfriend and wasn't left alone to listen to all of you.
Yeah.
Everyone's doing that at the moment on Instagram. I follow a girl who lives in Brazil, and she just said on her Instagram story, I wouldn't usually say this, but I want a sugar daddy. End of video.
That's
So,
it.
yeah,
You just slide in.
I'm going to give it some time, Ed.
Did you wait? Are you waiting for JobKeeper to kick in?
You can't. Well, the thing is, you can't go straight, and you've got to get all the pervs
Creeps.
out of the way. Yeah. Then you go in like a day later.
Yep.
What's
Yeah.
happening?
On something like that, how long do you have to wait? How long is the wave of pervs that you have to ride before you can slide back in? Like, how quickly do the pervs get on, and how long do you have to wait before they can wander off again? These pervs.
Oh, well, mate, you've just got to see whether they see your message. So, you know, there's girls I've messaged on Instagram 4 years ago, Ed, and sometimes I go back and check the message. Often they're unseen. So then I delete that message and start a new one because I don't want that sitting there for 4 years. You know, that material's old. I said something
about Y2K.
Yeah, it was Y2K. How about this Y2K bug? But
isn't that a sign in itself if they just haven't looked at it? It wouldn't be like, oh, give up.
yeah, that's exactly how I feel. Like you can read my thoughts.
That's what she does. She's a good mind reader.
Yeah. Well, I'm kind of out of questions. I think who was your favourite apart from Ed on the season, George? Your favourite
not apart
person?
from me. Not apart from me.
Well,
Who was my favourite person?
Yeah,
saving you, Ed.
don't include me in that. No, don't.
Bo Ryan.
Poof.
Bo, yeah, 100%.
That's blown my hair back. I did not expect that.
I didn't either. Why?
I find him the most fascinating, funniest. Not funniest because he's not actually. I feel like he doesn't mean to be funny. He's just funny. And then some of the stories you told me, Ed, about what I used to say, it's just, and then it's just, he's just a very funny person. He surprised me. And he's got no shame, like no shame at all. Just leaves it all on the table. Does not care what people think. Yeah, I really liked him. And I think he was really missed when he left. Like I felt
Too much though. Why didn't you talk?
I just used to observe him. It doesn't mean like if the other person I was closest to, that's a different question. But this person, I felt like I observed him a lot.
Yeah, he went up in my estimation an enormous amount. He's actually taught me something.
And what's that?
He taught me because I used to not. When he was like they had that other stuff before, and when I used to see him on the footy show, I didn't like his material. I didn't like that stuff. He's taught me. One of the people go, nah, you got to wait till you see people up close for a while, and then decide what your thoughts are. Because he and I get along like a house on fire.
Oh, good, Ed.
We get along like a house on fire.
I didn't know that.
One thing he learned.
Ed,
well
I did
done.
not know this. This is news to me now because I'm in the camp too. From the outside looking in, I don't think Bo Ryan is that likable and definitely not funny.
Yeah, no, but I was the same. I was the exact same.
And you're right though. Like that's just life. You've got to meet someone in person before you judge them for sure.
And you, Ash, would love him.
Oh,
you
okay.
two would get along so because he's funny actually because he's a bit like you, but then he has the same sort of joie de vivre that you have. He's just loving life and he's doing whatever he wants.
Good on him.
That you would.
And he's unapologetic for it.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
okay.
what I liked about it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, look.
What about you, Ed? Actually,
Great question.
what was the Claudia Carvin thing
Which
that you found the two funniest things apparently that happened on the entire season?
She listened to our podcast, Ash, and she's not happy because she thinks she's been usurped by Claudia as the funniest. Because I told Georgia that one of the reasons that she and I get along is because she's naturally funny.
She is.
And she is. And she got a lot funnier hanging out with me.
I like it.
So he says.
No. That's true. That's true. That's osmosis.
Yeah, a lot funnier because she was hanging out with me. But Carvin is, oof, ooh, that carbon.
Mm.
Ooh, that carbon.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying, Ash?
Oh, I've never met her, but I do know what you're saying.
Ooh,
And
that carbon.
I
Ooh,
don't
baby.
need to meet her.
Oh, you do. You do. And she did she started doing this bit where if she saw me coming from a long distance away, she would change like a full like osmosis-y thing into doing an impersonation of Jorja as she walked towards me.
Oh, wow.
And it
She's very funny.
unreal.
Did you see the impersonation, Georgia?
This is what I mean. When he told me this, I said she did an impersonation. I had no idea. I had absolutely no idea.
She'd do George's walk. She'd choose a phrase, and she wouldn't stop. She would just walk past, do it, and then keep walking.
What was one of the phrases? I'm curious.
I was walking to lunch, and she was walking past. She sees me. She goes into Georgia walk. As she gets past me, she goes, "Don't eat too much," and then keeps going.
That's so good.
Really? I've never said that.
Yeah, but
I've never said
it's the
that
type
though.
of thing that you would. It's in your.
Ed, you're in trouble now, pal. I can see this.
No, she was very funny. I found it funny because some of the male professional dancers
That's the other thing.
are a bit numb. Like
Yeah,
they're a bit. It takes a long time.
and
They're funny, but
she was toying with them.
yeah.
She was like openly toying with them and then laughing hysterically as she was doing it. It was unbelievable.
And they had no awareness of what was happening.
Gosh.
And sometimes, George, if you do something feisty in a group setting, like just being yourself, she would catch my eye and she'd wink because she was loving you. She just loved it. She would just be like, "That Georgia, she is a weapon." I was like, "Yeah, I know." She was loving it.
Well, you know.
And how do you feel about Claudia doing an impersonation of you, Georgia?
I feel quite honoured, actually. Yeah, I feel quite honoured. I mean, you know, I met Claudia for the first time last year on last season, and I thought she was like a very intelligent lady, and she was like, which she is, but very intelligent, smart, calm. But she's actually, and even the show didn't do it. Like behind the scenes is where you saw her magic.
Yep.
Wow.
You never saw it on screen. The naughtiness, the funniness, none of that.
She's the whole package.
She
really is.
You know, the thing with actresses and actors is they turn it on when the camera's on and then they're boring afterwards. She's the opposite. Plus, she's a brilliant actress.
I know. It was a real